Hey YouTube, John here from AI Addict. We just took delivery of a brand new Ford F-150 Lightning, which is Ford's all-new version of an electric pickup truck. We're very excited to tell you that this is going to be a part one video of a lot more videos to come with the F-150 Lightning. So if you want to see those and check them out, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. If there's any content that you want to see tested or reviewed featuring the F-150 Lightning while it's in our ownership, do feel free to comment down below and we'll see if we can squeeze it into future content. Now, let's go see what my first impressions are of the truck during my first drive.
If you have a blackout, you can power your house off this truck. Your truck will alert you when it's getting low. You can drive somewhere else and charge it to a place that still has electricity.
You can bring it back to your house.
And bring it back. Literally, you can. It's a portable power bank that you can easily recharge somewhere else.
Turn right.
I am turning right. Let's see what the power has right away. Fuck.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
Oh shit!
I felt some torque steer there, but I think that was just the turn.
Wow, it is an experience accelerating like that when you're so far from the ground. It's just such a different experience when you're in a truck doing that.
Again. Whoa.
Ooh.
I like that.
I want to say it feels faster. Maybe I'm used to the Tesla, but this feels like it's pushing my head back harder.
I was reading some of the info packets that they said that they were trying to go for an acceleration that wasn't just smooth and quick, but actively threw your head back as well.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the features they were looking for when they were doing it.
Yeah, they definitely achieved that. And in a truck this size, wow.
I feel like when you have this versus a Tesla, if all you like is just straight acceleration and speed, you'd be happy in this F-150 if that's all you enjoyed your Tesla for and you wanted a big boxy vehicle that you could haul things in.
Yeah, you get so much more practicality, and then since it's electric, you don't have to worry about the extra gas you're burning.
This will be 40% more efficient and having 40% less maintenance than your typical gas F-150 according to Ford over 5 years of ownership.
And that figure is just maintenance.
That's just
gas. The gas is going to be the biggest difference right there.
They say that this gas takes about $1,000 a year to power the electricity to ride this car.
Okay.
That a typical truck user would use it for. However, that does save you about $1,500 a year in the amount of money you would spend on gasoline for an equivalent truck.
Yeah, when I had the F-150 King Ranch, it was the twin turbo V6. That thing was going through at least 5 gallons of gas a day. And just casual daily driving. It was nuts.
So like, even though a lot of people like to quote like, oh wow, this is not as efficient as a Tesla or some of the other EVs out there, and wow, it takes a lot more kilowatts per mile, or hours per mile, however you want to phrase it, to operate these vehicles, and it could actually cost you a lot more money to power them up because of the bigger battery packs. But even though that might be the case, that is so much better savings than filling up the gasoline.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to compare a truck like this to a Tesla. It's fair to compare a truck like this to a gas version of a truck like this.
Yeah, like my 2015 Ram 1500 V8. Like that thing, I don't want to talk about that thing.
It gets an impressive MPG for a big V8. It gets almost 20 MPG, I think, but that doesn't even compare to driving an electric truck.
Back when I was test driving trucks, I did look at some Fords and they had leaf spring suspension in the back. One of the big takeaways on why I chose the Ram actually was because it had independent rear suspension for all 4 wheels, which is amazing. Most trucks in that price range and for that class didn't have that capability. I think the F-150 Lightning might be the first F-150 that does have independent all around. Is that correct?
Well, your Ram is not independent, but the way the F-150 does it, I believe it is independent all around.
I was gonna say, this doesn't have that vibration in the back. I don't feel the flexing of the frame. This feels more like a sedan feeling truck. I mean, I hate to say it, but like it's the most sedan feeling truck I've had outside of a Ram 1500, and people who drive trucks I think would understand what I mean by that.
Yes. The typical truck feeling is when your solid rear axle hits a bump, it sends this weird vibration through the whole truck. And this electric Lightning does not get that at all.
And I really like that. I mean, it just feels like I'm driving your typical crossover EV, but I'm in an F-150, and I'm perplexed.
Yeah, and it is truly an F-150.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is massive inside.
This thing is huge. I could live in this. It's a house. Not to mention how I could overland on top of it or in the back.
Yeah, there's so much electric power coming out of this thing. Just the outlets that it has. It has the house outlet right here, couple cigarette ports, couple USB chargers, wireless charger, and then it has everything in the bed. Power a full day's worth of tools, go camping.
And Ford says you can power 3 to 4 days of your single family house of 4 just solely on your truck. And if you use Ford's Flex Power, like smart system, they could actually go as far as 13 to 14 days. No, sorry, 10 days. My bad, YouTube, 10 days. I think that's still impressive. I mean, I want my Tesla to do that, but I think if I did that to my Tesla, Elon's lawyers would come after me.
You know, I don't know if everyone experiences this with their utility companies, but over here with PG&E, they suck.
They suck.
Just to put it lightly, that's the kindest way I can say it. But sometimes on the hottest days of the year, they'll just have rolling blackouts. We won't have any electricity, no way to cool the house down. And if you had a truck like this, you could just plug your house into it.
Literally, and that'd be so convenient. I mean, during 2020, like all the fires we used to have in California, the rolling blackouts were terrible. I mean, half the city, I swear to God, went straight to solar after that because they just wanted to be off the grid. But this would allow you to get off the grid fully while having a battery backup that's the size of a truck. I think this would be a perfect equivalent for a virtual power bank. I mean, if anyone knows anything what Tesla's doing currently down with the Edison company in LA, where they're doing virtual power stations and power packs, where they're basically having people connect their power walls to the grid to off the load for the actual grid down in LA, and they're actually giving people checks for the power that they took, that they created with the sun in their own homes. I think it's really incredible, and I think this is a battery pack that's bigger than a power wall. But this would be great for that capability. Ford came out with their own network for that as well to help the grid in states like Texas that might not be able to be as efficient.
Yeah, and if you have a blackout, you can power your house off this truck. Your truck will alert you when it's getting low. You can drive somewhere else and charge it to a place that still has electricity.
You can bring it back to your house.
And bring it back. Literally, you can. It's a portable power bank that you can easily recharge somewhere else. For a cooler video if you got it. Nice.
Beer. For all those current F-150 owners out there, yeah, this thing can hold a lot of beer. Go to the keg. So far, I'm very much impressed. Great build quality. The materials they've used are not what I usually associate when I think Ford. There's not as much plastic, there's not creaking, the doors don't make weird noises when you open them or anything like they do on previous Fords I've driven. They used great quality materials, and I feel like this is a higher end trim than I would have thought when I think Ford.
Yeah, even down to the little details, like the noises it makes when you open the door and the ignition is still on. It's a much more pleasant sound than what Ford used to use.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I definitely see this as being more of a luxury vehicle that I forget is even a truck as I drive it. So far, when we got in the truck, we had 261 miles of range, and we've used about 15, 16 miles of that range. And I will say, we have driven about 14, 15 miles so far, and I was a little bit of a lead foot on the way here. So, I'm not gonna lie, their range indication is pretty spot on so far from what I can see.
And it's cool because these trucks are estimated with a big payload in the bed, so when you don't have that much stuff, they end up beating the EPA estimates.
So far in this trip, it's telling me that I'm doing about an average of around 400 or 500 watt hours per mile, which honestly is kind of not that great compared to some of the other EVs on the market, but you have to remember, this is a pickup truck, and it's also not a Hummer that weighs 10,000 pounds, so it's obviously even more efficient than that thing. We could bash on that all day if we wanted to. But I honestly have to say 500 is not that bad for how lead foot I'm being with this vehicle right now. Especially compared to a gasoline vehicle, the amount of money I'll spend on kilowatts is still far less than the amount of money I'd spend on gasoline for the same trip I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and if you want to compare it to like a Rivian, you have to remember that this is a much bigger truck.
With much more capabilities.
Yeah.
Alright YouTube, thank you so much for coming with us for our first impression with the F-150 Lightning, and for coming with us to see how good it is at being a utility vehicle for grabbing a keg at the brewery. We have a lot of content coming because we're going to be owning this vehicle for quite a while, so let us know what ideas you have for us and that you want to see in store in future videos. And like always, make sure you're subscribed so that way you don't miss out on future F-150 Lightning videos. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time with the F-150 Lightning.